while we let some people join us, I wanted to share one of my favorite videos here while we get started and let others join us. This is one of my so please
Hi
check
there,
this
Sproutlets.
out.
Sean and Chica here.
I love this
The
video.
Sunny Side Up Show. It's Dad's week, and I'm a dad.
This is about a
This
year
is
ago.
my son, Everest. Say hi, Sproutlets. Say it really loud. Hi, Sproutlets. Nice job. All right. And say hi to Chica, nice and loud.
He found camera 3. He looked right at it.
You're
Very
doing so
impressed.
great. Well, Everest is here with us to have some fun. We were going to make a parfait. Do you like to work with me in the kitchen? Is that fun when we do it at home? Okay, here. Well, let's try it. Let's try it right here. I'm going to put that, and we'll start with the yogurt, remember? We're going to start with the, oh, okay. Well, we'll start with the pineapple. Yeah. You can put some yogurt in. Good job. There you go. Everest, Chica's saying, good job, good job.
So great.
That's right. All right, so, oh, I see that now. Rather than it going into the cup, it's going right into your mouth, but that's okay. Put one more spoonful in the cup. It's yummy, isn't it?
That's live TV.
Do you like it, Everest? Yeah. Okay. All right, now let's put some pineapple in there. This is the pineapple. You can use that spoon, or you can use the yogurt spoon too. That'll work. Here, I'll help you. Put some on there. Okay. Oh, now you want to use that spoon. It's okay. Whatever you like, buddy. We're having fun. You almost put that in your mouth. You're a funny jokester.
He's
All right.
quite a jokester.
So here, let's put in some strawberries
To
now.
this day.
Okay, get some strawberries. Yeah, just like that. And we're gonna make a layer of them. And we're gonna make layers of yogurt and fruit, and then we're gonna eat it later. All right, here, let's get some yogurt. Good job. All right. Oh yeah, we'd love to put bananas in it. Well, let's see. Oh, we have some bananas right here. Thank you, Chica. Everest, look. Chica brought up some bananas. Do you want to add some? Here, you can get some bananas and put them into the cup too. Good job!
Find more of the Sunny Side Up Show every morning from 9 to 12 on the Sprout Channel.
Wonderful. I'm so excited that he did the fist pump. He came up with that on his own. Well, thanks for joining me for Sean Draws here. My pleasure. I'm so glad to share that. And I'm excited. I'm going to hopefully have my son on the show in about 3 weeks. So we're working on that. That would be really awesome to have him on again because it's about a year later now. So it's time. So the overwhelming response of what I should draw, I got a lot of great suggestions from you guys on Facebook and email and stuff like that. So is some Easter flowers. So I think this will be really perfect. So I have some lilies, and my wife purchased these. So I'm going to just draw some flowers for you guys and ask any questions you have about what I do and why I do it and how I do it, and happy to share. So today I'm actually going to be using one of my favorite mediums, pastels, which are like chalk. So I actually bought this tackle box, this fishing tackle box, and I use this. And it's great because you can store all your different colors, because typically when you buy pastels as an artist, they wear down the little pieces, but you don't want to part with the piece. So you may end up using it. So you end up with hundreds of thousands of little pieces here. So so this really comes in handy. So I have all these different colors sorted so I can make my pictures. So I'll get started with that, but I thought maybe this time I would do things a little differently. I would add some music to the show. So let me just fire up my iTunes here, and I'll play some Alexi Murdoch. So if you guys can't hear me as I'm talking, let me know, and I'll turn the music down. I just thought it might add some nice mood, theme sort of feel to what I'm doing here. So I'm going to start with actually drawing with a pastel. So I'm going to start with this light brown. And light brown is a great color to just start with, because almost everything in life has just a little bit of brown in it. And so this is what I can use to draw the initial sort of outline of my shapes. Let me slide this over so you guys can see it better. Okay. So can you guys hear me okay? Everything good? Music not too loud? You let me know if it is. So first I'm just going to start by figuring out where I want to place my first flower, which I think it looks like it's right here. This one here is off to the left. So I'll just draw that. The great thing about drawing flowers is it doesn't have to be perfect because nobody knows. Different than when you draw a face. The eye's over here. It's not going to look right. All right. So let me start with a leaf here, here. And the leaves are really kind of randomized. You know, they're not all perfectly in line with each other. I'm even going to draw the center of this lily with just a light brown outline. And, you know, drawing this outline is probably the hardest part to get started. Thanks, Carrie. So it's probably the hardest part to getting started. And I just have a lot of practice of looking at shapes and outlines and just laying them out the way I see them. And I can't tell you any other way to learn that other than just putting thousands and thousands of hours into drawing and just looking at things in front of you and then translating it to the paper. So I got one flower outlined. I can draw another one here. I've got another one, and I can tell that it's lower, so I'll just start a little bit lower. Just draw the shapes of the leaves as I see them. And then down here we've got these, what are those? Daisies? I'm not much of one to know what flowers' names are. So we'll call this the little hairy Dr. Seuss flower. And then I've got another one down here. And I'm just drawing a rough outline of where they all are. So I got those 4 flowers right there. Can I turn the flowers straight on so you can see them? Sure. So let me pull this over a little bit, show you what they look like straight on. So that right there, as you can see, right, I think on that angle, that's about what, no, there's the angle I was drawing. So perhaps if I shift things around here for you guys, you can see my drawing and the flowers at the same time. So just like that. So it's a little more challenging for me to draw flowers and not see them this way. That's how I've been doing it for years, is to look at something directly. So what I'll have to do is a little trick for TV, for the internet, is to I'll look at the screen. So I'm seeing what you see here, so I see the same angle. So so let me just slide that over a little bit. Good. I can do this. I can do anything. So I think it's like that. That's how I see it. That's pretty good. So as you can see this little dark sort of U shape there, little cup? That's right here. That's right here in this lily. So I can even draw that sort of outline in right there, just to give you guys some feel for where I am looking at the flowers here. You see. Moms and orchids, says Heather. That's my wife, by the way. Hi, baby. So yeah, maybe moms and orchids. Sounds good to me. That's not a lily, that's an orchid. So yes, orchids, moms. It all comes together now. So what I usually do when I start with a pastel is I start with light colors, because when you start with dark colors with pastels, it's very hard to erase them. So if I make a dark line, I'm sort of committed to it. Unlike oil painting or other painting, you can typically paint over something once it's dry. With pastels, once you've stained the paper, that's how it's going to be. So you want to start with light colors first. And I notice these leaves have a lot of green in them, as you can probably see. So what I'm going to do is draw in a lot of that green, because it's a nice light color. You see that nice green leaf there? That's that one. And then this one here. But on this one, the green doesn't go all the way to the edge of the leaf, does it? It sort of fades out at the end. This one here, too, it's got green here, but the green doesn't go all the way to the end. It sort of fades into like a yellowy white. Over here, some green, but this green's a darker green here. So I'll come back and add another color to that. That's the thing with pastels. It's about layering colors. One of my favorite things about pastels is that it taught me how to dissect colors. This isn't just a yellow or a green right here on this leaf. It's a yellow, a green, a little bit of white. There's even a little bit of brown in there. And so the cool thing about pastels is they come in many different colors, but you have to mix them on the paper. There isn't always the perfect stick. I don't have this color in a stick. So I have to mix this green with a little bit of yellow and a little bit of that. It's like cooking. So I always say to new artists, if you want to learn about color, which is really important, start with pastels because it really teaches you how to mix colors. So see, I add a little bit of yellow to that. Add a little bit of yellow there. Looks like almost all of this green needs a little bit more of this yellow. Cool. And now I see there's sort of that grayish brown right here. You need to add more, darken this green up down here. See that? And let's see where else. It's like here. So you really learn to see color by having to mix like this. A lot of times when artists, young artists, go to art school, when it comes to painting, you learn how to mix colors on your palette. You have the palette with all of them there, and you grab a little white, you grab a little blue, and you mix it here, and then you go to the canvas. You can't do that with pastels. That's the difference that I'm talking about. You have to take each stick up to the page, so it helps you. So as I say, it's like dissecting color. So let me add a little bit of color. Do I see here? It looks like it's like a muddy pink. So let's see. I'll start with a little pink here. See that there? A little bit of muddy pink. Yeah. I even see a little bit of muddy pink there, and tucked behind that leaf or petal. And a little under there. Yeah, that's good. Oh, and I see a lot of it right in here, don't I? So, like I said, starting with the light color first, I can almost fill this whole thing in with this sort of lighter pink. I don't want to do the dark first, or I'll never be able to get this light pink to stay on top of it. See a little more over here. And a little bit here too, right there. So I've got some of my pinks put in there. Any questions for anybody? I can easily answer some if you have them. I'm now putting in that dark purple here, just as a marker for myself, where that shape is. Just like that. It's like the smiley face of the flower, I see. I also see a little dark pink there. More of a purple or a maroon there. And then I see it all inside here, inside this flower. And I'm simply just, I can just draw those lines in just like that. So I just add in, it's tempting to just want to fill this whole flower in, but I really try and look for where I see the dark spots. You see that sort of shape right there? It sort of wraps around the center of the mum. The mum, as I've learned, it's a mum. So I try and make sure I'm real deliberate about all the marks that I make, wherever I add color, so that it looks like what I see. Over here, see more of a dark spot right there. You see that one? Put all the lines in like that. Being real deliberate, making sure my marks. Also, all the lines I make sort of. let's go back up here. Let's add some more yellow. One thing about pastels too is your fingers get dirt, and so it can muddy up the paper if you're not careful. So sometimes I'll keep a wet paper towel around, especially when I'm going to go back and work on some lighter colors. Like I want to add yellow here, but I don't want the center of the flower to get too dark and muddy because I was lazy. So that's what pants are for, and to dry your hands. So let's add a little bit of yellow here in the center. And I'm gonna take a quick moment and skip that song. Just not feeling that. Good. Okay. So now let me get back to this yellow here. So I see that there's this yellow center there. Probably a little harder for you guys to see. And it blends into that purple a little bit there. What else do I see? Yellow up here. So I've got the basic light colors of this flower. Before I get to this one, I want to finish this one up for you guys a little bit more so you can really get a feel for how it would look when it was finished. So I see there's also the negative space, is what we call it in our world, is the negative space is around the object that you're drawing. So the negative space is what defines the shape of this flower, because the negative space is darker around it. The leaves behind it, in the background, are what make the shapes of these petals sort of pop out. And pastels are fun because they're great for smearing, really blending your colors together. That's the shape of that petal, just like that. Nice. So you're starting to see the shape of that flower come together. And it looks like got even these little guys here. Got a stalk there, here. And you see that one comes right out between the two petals. And then here and here. And then we've got these little flower, little clusters. Just like that. So, gives you the idea, once again, cleaning my fingers, they're dark, gives you the idea of just where those little flowers are up there. And then it defines the top of this these petals of this flower, doesn't it? You know, by default, when you put these flowers in, it helps define the things that are in front of it. So it looks like there's a little bit of pink up here. Right? See that? There. Just like that. And you can see a little bit here. Really defines the top of that petal. See a little more there. And now, if I were getting really, if I had hours to work on this thing, I would even come back and you see how these petals of this flowers are brighter. There's white than the gray background. I would even come back and add a little bit of another color to deaden, sort of mute all the colors around it, except for the white paper right there. And you see how now that white looks brighter and it pops out just like it does here. But if I was going to do the whole background, it might take me a good 3 or 4 hours to finish this whole drawing, which we don't have time for that. So let me come back to these petals here. Add a little more brown in here. And I smear as I go just to blend those colors. Looks like the shape of this center part of the flower. Has some darkness to it there, a little more dark brown. And it looks like I missed this little white tip here on this leaf. You see that little white tip that's right there? That's going to help to define that leaf. So I can come back with a little white. You see that pops a little more? Maybe I'll come back with a different white. There we go. Now that little tip pops out. So does the bottom here too, as you can see. Yeah, it's starting to come together, isn't it? Now I can outline that, blend it. So any other questions? Any thoughts, anybody? You want to share? So that actually comes around like that. It's a little bit darker there. Like I said, I'm building my colors. I don't ever expect to get one color or shape drawn in just one application of color. I usually have to do little layers. I had this light green, I had this dark green, I come back and add a little brown, a little white, a little pink. That's how I build each time. So it's starting to come together. It looks like I need a little more down here. I need a little more for this center of the flower. If anybody knows what the center of that flower is, feel free to let me know. I think I need to come back and add more pink. Right there. Little shape there, little shape there. A little more of this dark purple. Now, if I see this up close, I can actually see there's actually different little splotchy shapes there. These are the kind of things that you need to see up close to pick out, but this part has lots of little speckles to it. So that just adds a little bit of texture there. Yeah. Coming right along. I do a lot of squinting when I do this because sometimes it's easier to see the shapes. If you just squint and just barely look at it, you can see each shape and make sure that you've got it in the shape that you want. Obnative, hi Obnative, asks what I'm using. Pastels. Pastels are a chalk. And when it comes to artist quality pastels, when you go to an art store, my favorite are the cheapest. They are the strongest, the hardest, really strong. They're called New Pastel. There's all these other brands out there, like this bigger kind, which is a Rembrandt. These are softer and 4 times as expensive. But happily for me, the cheapest brand is my favorite because it's the stiffest. And I don't need all that loosey-goosey soft pastel stuff. I like a firm stick that I can draw these shapes and these outlines with that doesn't fall apart on me and crumble. Like this Rembrandt. Peel off some of this paper and show you. This Rembrandt is very, very soft and chalky. It crumbles. It's probably harder for you guys to see that, but it really flakes and crumbles a lot more. It's good for a white, but I don't like it for all the other colors. And you can see it's harder to draw with a big round stick than it is with something like this. Let's see, like this one, that's really got a little sharper point to it because it's a smaller pastel. Yeah, and New Pastels is spelled N-U Pastels. I think one word. It looks like there's some peach color in some of these leaves here. I don't know if you can see that, but from where I am, I can definitely see a little bit of peach. So I would come back and add some of that around the edge there. Yeah, this flower is pretty close. I might actually come back and add a little more shadowing in places that I can't actually see shadowing. Now I'm making things up just so I can make the shapes separate themselves and pop out on their own and not look all blended together. Some of these leaves look like they're just sort of blended together. So I'll add a little shadow there. And this is the part where more experience just comes in, where I'm just now making stuff up. So to make the shapes separate themselves. Like that. Great. So that's a flower. Looks like I've only got about 4 or 5 minutes left. So I wanted to thank all of you guys for coming out and watching. I won't have time to finish much more, but I actually like this, so I might keep going. And I'll be doing a show like this again in 2 weeks. So please join me. I'm going to be doing these every 2 weeks, just because it's fun for me. It's a really great experience. Elizabeth says, my lines are looking very harsh. Should I be blending as I go along? Absolutely. I mean, let me bring this in close so you guys can see it. I like when the artwork is rough and tumble like that. Now you can really start to see all these lines here. If you want to get rid of these, yeah, you can smear. But for me, I really like when artwork shows the hand of the artist. So you don't want to get rid of everything. I like, some of these lines in here, I keep that stuff just because then it really looks like it was drawn. Because quite frankly, if you're trying to make it look like a photograph, just take a photograph. But if you want it to really look like a drawing, leave your lines in there. Leave some of these edges and stuff like that. So that's my recommendation. If you feel like you want to make everything look soft and smooth, keep it rough like that. It is, although I must admit, to contrary to that, if you're ever stuck, you feel like you don't know where to go with your drawing, you feel like it's not finished, it's a great idea to just smear it all and then start over on top of that. But that's smearing for a different reason. Okay, well, I wanted to remind you guys all too that I have an app. If you haven't seen it, it's called Sean Draws Things That Fly, and I'm going to just show it to you really briefly here. So let me pause my music here. So my app here, Sean Draws Things That Fly. This is our first iteration of an app. We'd like to make a whole suite of these, and you can go to runwildstudios.com to find the app and download it. And so in this app, you actually get to see me draw all kinds of things. All these things are things that fly, and it has some great music to it, which you can then see me create art, high speed. You can stop it. Little thing down here, you can stop it and watch playback. And this is a great app for, the sort of 4-year-old to 7-year-old age range. And you can add stickers to it by clicking on these buttons. You can make the other stickers bigger. So there's lots of different stuff you can do with it. And you can also do your own, where it's now a coloring page. You can add color of your own. If you click on this cool one, it actually paints in what I painted before, which I also love that you can add to that. So you can tweak the colors of it, but it still stays the same sort of textures and shapes that I made. So I created this app because I really wanted to inspire young kids to draw. I felt like right now it's only on the iPad and it's only an Apple product. It's true. Somebody asked. But we hope to expand soon. Once we get a little more of the word out and we have time to develop more for it. But right now it's just an iPad app. But the reason I created it is I really wanted to inspire kids to draw. I know kids love to draw, but I feel like a lot of the stuff that we see, media, cartoons, a lot of the stuff that kids don't, they can't really tell that it's drawn. So I wanted them to see the hand of the artist creating something and drawing it, and hopefully inspire them to realize that almost all that stuff they see out there, cartoons and media, is drawn by an artist, and so they can be an artist too. Once again, thank you everybody for coming out. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you saw here, tell your friends. If you didn't, tell your enemies. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Hasta la vista. Thanks, Carrie. Thanks, everybody. Ciao.